A whole lot has happened lately, and honestly, the only way I can make sense of it is to walk you through everything from the top. Now, I don't have the credit card statements in hand yet, not officially, but my attorney says we're close. Apparently, she managed to get some sort of court-approved gag order, so Rachel and Derek won't be alerted about the subpoena until we've already got the record safely in our hands. Yeah, I'm expecting a total meltdown from Rachel when that day comes, and I don't mean just some teary-eyed apology. She's going to spin it every way she can, twisting the truth until she doesn't look like, well, let's just say someone who completely lost her moral compass. A few days ago, I met with Derek's wife. Let's call her Lisa. She was heartbroken, and yet, not shocked. She told me Derek had stepped out on her once before, while she was pregnant with their third child. That hit me like a punch to the gut, but she said it calmly, like someone who had made peace with a terrible truth long ago. We talked for hours. We went over timelines, especially those final weeks when Derek started acting like Rachel's shadow. Lisa mentioned New Year's Eve, that she'd taken their 3 kids down to Orlando for the holidays. Derek had joined them briefly, but then left early and never came back. On New Year's Eve itself, Lisa said he FaceTimed her at midnight. She remembers clearly, the call, the countdown, everything. He was sitting inside their house when he called. She was furious. Like, shaking and tearing up as she told me. Later, she had someone check the Ring camera footage at the front door. And sure enough, there they were. Derek and Rachel, arriving in his car. He practically dragged her inside. Rachel didn't exactly look thrilled to be there, but she wasn't resisting either. What's weird is that Rachel had driven separately earlier that night. So why'd she end up with him? No clue. I half-joked to Lisa that at least Rachel hadn't ended up pregnant. She gave me this tight smile and said that was unlikely. Turns out, after Derek's last infidelity, she had laid down a hard condition: either he got a procedure to ensure no more kids, or they were done. She even drove him there herself. Her words, not mine, didn't trust him to follow through. So yeah, no more surprises from Cowboy Derek. He's shootin' blanks now. Lisa's officially joined forces with my lawyer. Looks like we're going to be in the divorce club together. We joked about forming a support group, sleepovers, esmores, maybe a little hair braiding while we vent about life and watch rom-coms. You know, healing through dark humor. She shared a ton of messages between Derek and Rachel. The kind of stuff that makes your stomach twist. He'd write her these long, pleading texts. Telling her how much he missed her, how he bought a new outfit just for her, begging to see her again. At first, she was playful. But over time, her replies went cold. The vibe shifted. Derek didn't seem to notice, though. Poor guy was chasing something that had already slipped away. I asked Lisa if she ever knew about Derek's thing for, intimate fashion. She rolled her eyes and said she could probably open a boutique with everything he made her buy. Had to laugh at that one. Now before anyone starts making assumptions, no, Lisa and I aren't getting involved. We're just 2 people sitting in the same wreckage, trying to help each other up. She asks me questions about Rachel all the time. And I tell her straight up, I don't want to know a single thing about Derek. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear his name. Truth is, right now, I couldn't feel anything romantic if I tried. Especially not for anyone who's been close to that man. Even my lawyer warned me. Told me to keep my distance from Lisa, no matter how innocent things seem. Because both our divorces are based on misconduct, and even the appearance of a new relationship could hurt us in court. So yeah, following that advice to the letter. I moved out of the residence hotel and into the Airbnb where I've got some remodeling work to do. It's a mess of a place, but it's keeping me busy. I'm talking paint, sheetrock, floors, the whole deal. There's something oddly therapeutic about manual labor right now. And the kitchen? This modern, ultra-sleek thing with a touch screen on the fridge that looks like it could control satellites. Meanwhile, the rest of the house feels like it barely survived a storm. But the air conditioning works, the roof's new, and I've got internet. Honestly, that's all I need right now. I even unblocked my former mother-in-law, Rachel's mom, and we exchanged a few texts. Nothing deep. She said she wanted to meet, promised Rachel wouldn't be there. I was hesitant, but I agreed on one condition: if Rachel showed up, I was out. For good. She agreed. We met in a quiet public park, far from where I was staying. And when she arrived, she was alone. Her eyes welled up when she saw me. Said I looked thinner, too thin. Then she popped open her trunk and handed me bags of groceries. Eggs, chicken, steaks, homemade soup, cookies, even my favorite spinach casserole. She said if I didn't start eating right, she'd move in and annoy me into doing it. And honestly, that didn't sound so bad. Because being alone, it's rough. Toward the end of our visit, she started doing that thing where someone wants to say something, but can't. She kept stopping and starting, trying to find some clever loophole in the boundaries I set. And I felt for her. So I gave her one shot. I said, "All right, one topic. That's it." I know, I shouldn't have. But that's exactly why I ghosted Rachel in the first place. I cave when people get emotional. I want to be the reason they feel okay again. And the topic she picked? Not Rachel. Not Derek. She wanted to talk about reconciliation. I told her everything I've written here, in these posts, in the comments, in all the places where I've tried to make sense of it. I told her the truth. My marriage to Rachel is over. Even if we were to get back together, which we won't, it would never be real. Because we're not the same people anymore. She wants to reconcile with the version of me that existed before I knew. Before I found out who she really was when no one was watching. That man, the man she married, the one who believed in her. He's gone. I was good to her. I showed up. I loved her. I stayed loyal. Even when life got messy. Even when the weight of the world sat on my shoulders. But that version of me, the one she remembers, the one she says she still loves, he doesn't live here anymore. The person I am now. He'd be a wreck. He'd say things out of anger. He'd resent her every time she walked out the front door. He'd carry that feeling, that tightness in the chest, that twisting in the gut, every day. And eventually, he'd make her life as miserable as he feels inside. She wouldn't love that man. Because that man would be a shadow. Haunted. Heavy. Different. Rachel can say she still loves me. But words are just words. People can say anything. What matters is what they do. And what she did was tear us apart. With full awareness. No hesitation. No remorse until she got caught. There's no magical sentence she could say to make it okay. There's no grand apology that will undo this. And I told her mother that. I told her I have proof. Things Rachel never admitted to. Details she's tried to hide even from her own family. And I'll share them, when my attorney gives the green light. I brought up something I hadn't wanted to say out loud before. That Rachel would come home after seeing Derek. And kiss me. No space. No pause. No brushing her mouth. No hesitation. That shook her mom. You could see it on her face, the realization, the horror. She looked like she wanted to vanish right then and there. She started talking about therapy. For Rachel. For me. For both of us. She even offered to cover the costs. She said she'd been reading up on reconciliation. Said it was possible. I told her I'd read those stories too. And the ones that stuck with me the most were the ones where, even after rebuilding, even after the long climb back, the one who cheated does it again. Only this time, there are children involved. Years of effort, trust slowly patched together, only to be shattered again. Even in the best case, people don't come out of this hole. The best outcomes I've seen. They involve two people who no longer fully trust each other. Who live together with invisible walls between them. Where one partner walks on eggshells and the other waits for the next impact. And I asked her, would you want to live like that? She didn't answer right away. Eventually, she said no. She wouldn't. I told her Rachel wasn't being honest. That this wasn't some accident or something that happened in a moment of weakness. This was an ongoing, deliberate affair. Not pressure. Not manipulation. Not confusion. She made a choice, over and over again. I said if she really wanted to help her daughter, she'd convince her to get help. Real help. To work on whatever part of her that allowed her to do this in the first place. Because if she could face that, fix it, if she could grow from this, she could still be a great partner to someone someday. She's young. She's beautiful. She's successful. She doesn't have kids. There are plenty of men out there who'd want the life she says she wanted with me. She'll still have the chance to give her mom grandkids. Just, not with me. Her mom asked me to think about it. I told her I already had. That I'd spent more sleepless nights than I could count imagining every possible version of a future with Rachel. And in every single one, it ended the same. With heartbreak. With fear. With me never being able to look at her without seeing this. Rachel betrayed me. And that's something I'll carry for a long, long time. I told her mother she had two choices. Either help Rachel find legal support. Or get Rachel to sign whatever settlement my lawyer puts in front of her. Part of me had hoped this would go quietly. That maybe I'd get a default judgment. That Rachel would avoid the whole thing and it would just end. But I'm not that lucky. Her family's going to step in. They'll get her an attorney. And then the whirlwind that is Rachel will come tearing through my life again, one last time. Just a few more rounds in the ring before this chapter finally closes. Divorce is like crawling through a burning tunnel with no light at the end. You do it alone. And if you're lucky, you come out the other side still recognizable. We don't have kids together, and thank God for that. That's the one clean break I get. But I'll never be able to forget this. Not really. It's burned into me. It's wild how one person can leave that kind of mark on another. A scar that doesn't show on the outside. But changes the way you see everything. Maybe it's made me more cautious. More skeptical. Maybe that's even a good thing, I don't know. But I keep thinking about my mom. And how she would have reacted to the person I've become because of this. She always saw the best in people. She always saw me. And I think maybe it's better she didn't have to see me like this. It's been 3 long days. Jim and Ryan are crashing here with me at the Airbnb. They've been quietly keeping me away from sharp objects and sharp thoughts. We played some board games this afternoon, old school stuff like Caden. I've got a headache from last night and a hangover the size of the Rockies. They're guarding my phone like it's nuclear launch codes. Matt showed up for a bit, but we sent him packing after a couple games. He's got a pregnant wife at home. A good woman. And no one needs this kind of energy near a baby on the way. A lot of people have asked about Lindsay. I can't see her online anywhere. So I reached out to Matt again, figured he might still have some contact. His wife's only connected with Lindsay through social media. Turns out she's disappeared. Either deleted everything or locked it down tighter than a vault. Even my lawyer tried and came up empty. So, no more brunch photos. No more artsy shots of avocado toast. We've officially been robbed, people. The food pics are gone. But that's not what broke me this week. That came later. That came when we got the credit card records. I got the call Wednesday afternoon. Went straight to my lawyer's office. Lisa showed up not long after. The charges were coming from John's wedding venue business, which technically makes Rachel his employee. Contractor. Something. I don't really know how that works. At first, the charges were just for hotel stays and high-end restaurants. One hotel in particular, a boutique spot in the city, became their go-to. The same one the private investigator caught them at in the parking lot. Everything lined up with the appointments in Rachel's calendar. Fridays. Lunches. Meetings. Every single one. They started out small. A hotel stay here. A fancy dinner there. It quickly became a pattern. A rhythm. Like clockwork. And then came New Year's Eve. $1,000 at the hotel. No Uber charges. No taxi. Which means John picked her up. Brought her to the hotel. Then to his mansion. And back again after midnight. A real gentleman. But that wasn't the worst of it. The thing that absolutely wrecked me was a charge for $181. 61 at a local adult store. About 3 weeks into their little arrangement. And yeah, before you ask. The statements were detailed. This wasn't some vague vendor label. It was the full line item from the credit card company's legal records. Rachel and John went to the store. Together. Picked out whatever they wanted. Together. And walked out. Together. Magical. What exactly costs that much in a place like that? I don't even want to know. A 5-gallon bucket of lubricant. A buy one get one deal on heartbreak. It kept getting worse. After the first couple of months, the charges started changing. Saks Fifth Avenue. Boutique clothing stores. Spa treatments. Even gas stations and grocery runs. At some point it stopped being just about hotels and meals. He started paying for everything. Even utilities. She used the card for our home. Our lives. Our date nights. The gifts she gave me. I remember when she bought me shoes. A new shirt. Even a belt. I had no idea they were designer-level expensive. She never made a show of it. Just smiled and said, "You look so handsome, try it on for me." And I felt lucky. I felt loved. God, I was so happy. So clueless. Turns out those leather loafers I wore on our anniversary cost $500. She gave me 2 other pairs, too. All paid for with that card. John's card. She told me her business was doing better. Said she could pitch in more. And I believed her. Because I wanted to believe her. But the charges tapered off in October. By December, the only activity was hotel stays. And Christmas presents. One of them was from a local toy store, the kind for actual kids, not the other kind. Total damage, nearly 30 grand. She even paid some of our household bills with it. And I'm supposed to believe she was manipulated? Controlled? It sounds more like she had him wrapped around her finger. Honestly? I almost feel bad for the guy. Almost. She played both of us. And I was the one giving her foot rubs while she texted him from the bathroom. I was the one smiling like a fool. Telling everyone how lucky I was. Man, I was a walking cliché. I've heard people joke before, oblivious husband. But I never thought that was me. Now. I feel like I was running a business I didn't know I owned. And my employee was moonlighting in betrayal. Whatever doubts I had. Whatever part of me was still clinging to the past. It's gone now. Dissolved into ash. There's nothing left but disgust. And now, I think I can face her. Finally. Because I feel absolutely nothing. No love. No sadness. Just a hollow kind of loathing. Cold. Clean. There's a gag order on the subpoena. Which means Rachel and John don't know we have these records. Not yet. They won't know until we bring them to the table. Until we lay it out in full during negotiations or discovery. I'd misunderstood before. My lawyer was clear this time. Her plan is to hit them with it all at once. No warnings. No mercy. I'm ready. I'm so completely done. And the only thing left now is to finish this. So yeah, Rachel has a lawyer now. Paid for by her parents. Her mom even texted me. I used to think her business was thriving. Turns out she was just burning through Derek's money. Maybe her business is in trouble. Maybe she's just hiding it from them. Or maybe she's just always been a leech. I don't even know who she is anymore. Eventually the truth will come out. When she's forced to turn over her business finances in discovery. My attorney's trying to set up an early negotiation. Wants to blindside Rachel and her lawyer. The same lawyer her mom paid for. Bet she'll leave out the part about being bankrolled by her sugar daddy. Yeah, good luck with that. When COVID hit and her salon went under. She drained our entire emergency fund. Didn't ask, didn't tell. Just helped herself. We fought like hell when I found out. So I set up alerts on all our shared funds. Mentioned this before in the comments. But it still stings. Then the other day, sitting in the lawyer's office. Going over the credit card statements again. Thinking about her and Derek walking into an adult store like a couple on a date. I looked at my lawyer and Lisa and I just cracked. Blurted out, "Do you think I'm good looking?" God, I'm so embarrassed. They both froze, totally caught off guard. And yeah, they said yes. What else could they say? No, you're hideous, we can barely look at you. My lawyer figured out what I was really asking. She told me she's repped all kinds of people who got cheated on. Some drop-dead gorgeous. Some not so much. Said it never has anything to do with looks. It's about the cheater. Not the one who got cheated on. Lisa teared up. I barely kept it together. Honestly, I think that moment broke me. I asked the lawyer if Derek could sue me. Since technically I benefited from the card. She said technically, this is America. Anyone can sue anyone for anything. But he wouldn't have a prayer in court. No real attorney would take the case. Lisa asked if she could sue Rachel. The lawyer shot that down quick. Rachel didn't steal the card. Derek gave it to her. So she's protected. But all the money he spent on the affair? That'll get tallied up when Lisa divorces his ass. Lisa's hellbent on burning Derek to the ground. I joked that she's not getting a damn cent out of me. They laughed. Then the lawyer said she's passing the info to the IRS. Congrats, Derek. Audit season's coming early. I just want this behind me. So badly I can taste it. Rachel, you've done it. You've killed every last shred of affection I had left. Mission accomplished. Y'all ever hear of Infidelity Baseball? Well, I'm living Infidelity Dodgeball. Just bobbing and weaving around the crazy. Thursday and Friday I went into the office. Helping onboard a new hire. Pair programming. Gotta do that in person for a bit before they let them go remote. Friday around noon. The lobby guard calls. Tells me I've got a visitor. I ask who. He says it's my wife. I say. No visitors today. Tell her to leave. Guard seemed surprised. But agreed. Later, the new guy comes back from lunch and says. Dude, there's a total smoke show waiting outside for you. Some coworkers heard and peeked. Turns out she saw his name badge. He's new, still wears it around his neck. Rookie mistake. I told him I wasn't going out there. He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. I said, "That's my soon-to-be ex-wife." He asked me, "Why would you dump a girl who looks like that?" I told him. She cheated. Then he wanted the whole story. All the little groundhogs popped their heads up from their cubicles. I shut it down. Told them it was boring. Just a business associate. They seemed satisfied and went back to work. I didn't go look at her. Didn't want to know what she looked like. But if she went full glam, I bet she was trying to manipulate me again. I stayed late. Till midnight. Left through the back delivery in trance. With my head on a swivel like I was dodging sniper fire. I got out. Dodged. But how the hell did she know I was there? She's never shown up before. I rarely even go in. Is she stalking me now? Has she been showing up and just waiting for me? She's like the Colorado River of crazy. Cutting a damn Grand Canyon through my brain. I never thought I'd feel this way. Never thought I'd hit a point where I felt nothing. She could call me tomorrow and say she has terminal cancer. And I'd react the same way I would to a stranger. I'm sorry. I hope you're wrong. If not, I hope you don't suffer too much. Good luck. And then I'd just go on with my day. There was a part of me. Even a tiny part. That thought maybe someday we'd have a peaceful moment. Something human between us. Some soft landing. But not anymore. That hope's dead. Nuked from orbit. Even the good memories. The ones that felt like magic. Are stained now. Poisoned. She was the love of my life. I thought it was forever. Even after death. But now. When it comes to Rachel. There's just nothing. Just a cold, black void where all the love used to be. And I'm left here. Angry. Empty. Feeling like a sucker. For wasting all those years. On a woman who sold herself for spa days and boutique bags. God. What a fool I was.